Hey everyone, welcome to Maddie's Daddy. Today I'm going to be talking about Toys R Us and the fact that they have filed for bankruptcy in federal court. They did this on Monday. We're going to talk about what this means for you, for me as a consumer, and we are going to let you know what not we can do about it, but I really have some questions for you guys. I'd like to find out what exactly it is. Are they getting my content? They're getting my content. All right. We're going to find out exactly what it is that, oh, it's flickering like crazy. Let me get off there. So we're going to find out what it is that Toys R Us is doing to help themselves and why they filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy in federal court recently. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask during the broadcast. I may not answer right away, but I will answer as soon as I can. All right, I'm going to hide myself because looking at myself just makes everything really strange. So anyway, I've got this little thing right here, this little box. If it's not showing any chat, then let me know, and I'll just get rid of this box. So that would help me out if you guys let me know. All right, so Toys R Us, they filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy on Monday. What does this mean for us, especially for the holiday season, for Christmas coming up? How are we going to shop? I mean, do you guys shop at Toys R Us? Have you guys ever shopped there? I know as a kid it was one of my favorite places to go to shop. And you know what? Babies R Us is also part of Toys R Us. So does that mean that they filed for bankruptcy? We're going to see if we can answer that question within this live stream. So we'll do the best that we can to answer those questions or to see what's going on. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining us here at Maddie's Daddy. I just really appreciate anyone who's taken the time to watch this, to find out what it means for you, what it means for me, what it means for the general consumer. And then the other question is, what does it mean for the employees at Toys R Us, and what does it mean for various stores that they have? Like how many stores are going to be closed because of this? So we're going to see if we can find out the answers to this. So just hang out here and let's just keep rolling here and see what's going on. All right, guys. So if you're here, I'd like to say hi. And so type in #1 if you're on the live stream. If you're on the rebroadcast, thanks for joining us. And again, I got this thing right over here, so I don't really know if the live chat's going to show up or not. So if it doesn't, I'm just going to get rid of it just completely because there's no reason to have it if it's not showing the live chat. So you know what? I think I'm just going to get rid of that because I don't think it's showing. So let's get rid of that, say goodbye. I can get back in the middle of this screen. Let me, when I go over to the next part, we'll also talk about that. We'll also talk about whether or not I need to get rid of that little box that was here. All right, guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is show you the first report that I saw, which was on Yahoo Finance, and I'm just going to kind of briefly read through that and find out what these things are. So this was by Yahoo Finance and by a couple of people by the name of Tom Howells and Tracy Ruzinski. It says Toys R Us got court permission on Tuesday to borrow more than $2 billion to start paying suppliers so it can stock up on items like Lego building blocks and Barbie dolls for the holiday season. This was after they filed for bankruptcy. This is crazy. Okay, so you file for bankruptcy, and then I'm gonna get rid of this box over here as well. Goodbye, box. So you file for bankruptcy, and then you ask for more money. How does that make any sense to me? Now, I guess we just need to keep reading to find out. So the Chapter 11 filing by the biggest U.S. toy store chain to restructure $5 billion of long-term debt is among the largest ever by a specialty retailer, and casts doubts over the future of the company's 64,000 employees and nearly 1,600 stores, which currently remain open. The collapse, it came swiftly. Investors, boom, they got smacked. I mean, I saw the charts for this, and I don't have it up right now. Maybe on Bloomberg, I think it shows it. But investors did not expect this. They did not see this coming at all. So this is the crazy thing. Alice, hey Alice, thanks for joining us here. We're talking about Toys R Us and the collapse of Toys R Us and what it means for us as consumers. And we're also trying to find out how you shop. Do you shop online? Do you actually go into stores? I'll get to more of that in a minute. I'm going to continue with this article here by Tom and Tracy. News reports this month. They reported this month that the company hired a law firm that specializes in corporate restructuring and seeking bankruptcy. So they're basically trying to restructure. 10 days later, nearly all companies' vendors refused to ship products without cash in advance. So this forced Toys R Us to scramble to raise $1 billion. So they filed for bankruptcy, all right? Crazy thing. Filed for $5 million. They were $5 billion, not million, $1 billion in debt. And then they got $2 billion allowed by to start paying suppliers. So they filed for $5 billion, and then $2 billion they got so they could pay their vendors. Okay, so they got rid of the $5 billion debt, but now they're in $2 billion. How does this work? Somebody in financial news needs to help me out. Anyway, so the timing could not be worse. That's because of the holiday season. Toys R Us is building inventory for the holiday season in fourth quarter, which accounts for 40% of net sales. The company said it received a commitment for up to $3.1 billion in debtor in possession financing from lenders, including various banks, J.P. Morgan, very blah blah blah. Let's see. It said that the chain could have avoided bankruptcy for another 2 years, but it would have delayed the inevitable. So I don't know. Was this something that that could have been prevented? I mean, was this something that they did for themselves? I mean, companies ultimately want to make money, so that's what this is about, I guess. Let's see. By 2022, the company plans to spend around $1 billion. I mean, billions of dollars in its big box stores to adding event space, increasing staff and wages. So they claim bankruptcy, and then they ask for more money, and now they're going to increase wages. What's going on here? I don't know. Alice, thanks for your comments. Yeah, it was news to me too until I heard about it. This just hit, like, I mean, at the very last minute on Monday, which was crazy, okay, guys? So let's see. Why did this happen? They said it was because of retail giants like Walmart and Amazon and that kind of thing. That's kind of what initially caused this. I'm just going to skip some stuff. Let's see. It says Toys R Us is saddled with debt from $6.6 billion buyout in 2005. You know, first of all, Toys R Us, I've always loved the company. Did you know that it started out as like a baby crib and mattress store like in 1948? And then they went really big, of course, in the 1980s. But they used to own like KB stores and some other things like that. Well, they're not in a good way right now. But according to the let me just kind of go back here. So according to the new CEO who apparently helped bring something back, I'll have to look that up here in a minute. These guys are trying to restructure, so like they have problems. They're gonna have to slash prices in order to compete with Amazon at all. All right. So let's go to the next one here. Let's see how Toys R Us collapsed. All right, I'm gonna play this this thing right here. Let's see. Let me get over here. All right, so let's play this and listen to this. And let me know if you can't hear it. All right, guys.
Again on Mike Bloomberg, the idea that we were trading at almost par just a couple of weeks ago and have rolled down to 19 cents on the dollar.
See that drop? That is so crazy.
Why did no one really see this coming, Noel?
This is from Bloomberg.
Nobody saw it coming is because it didn't really necessarily need to happen. It was really sort of the hiring of Kirkland and Ellis, the association of that to restructuring, I think, caused a lot of fear within the vendor community. And you know, as you may know, I mean, the lifeblood of the retail sector is really being able to kind of work with your vendors, and particularly into the holiday season for somebody like Toys R Us, making sure you're able to do that with payables. i.e. the vendors give you financing. Once that kind of goes away, it makes it tough for any retailer to sort of survive that sort of immediate liquidity crunch, which is what happened here.
No, when we read the obituary for Toys R Us, of course, the brand may well make a big comeback, even though they do go through bankruptcy. They might not disappear. When we read that obituary, do we read that Amazon killed Toys R Us, or do we read that a buyout back in 2005 killed Toys R Us because they drowned in their own debt and couldn't invest in the company?
Well, I think you read a little bit of both, right? I think, you know, it's interesting to note that, I mean, Toys R Us, you know, they were actually one of Amazon's early partners on the toy side back in 06, 07, and they kind of broke away. Toys R Us really actually has a great opportunity to be sort of the best buy of their sector, because you do have sort of survivors in these sort of single verticals. The problem is they never really developed that infrastructure, but certainly the debt was an issue. Part of the reason they don't have that infrastructure is because...
I'm just going to pause this just a second, guys. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see the graph here a few minutes ago? It's just like up here, up here, up here. You know, they're breaking par, and then boom, it just drops. That was like Monday. All right, let's just keep going.
All the debt servicing costs prohibited them from investing in the CapEx they needed to really build this business for the future. So that's part of what this reorg's about.
Yeah, and let's just take a look for perspective what that debt looks like. If you come inside the Bloomberg here, it's CAST Go, and it just shows the purple is total capital leases, but this huge blue bar here is senior unsecured bonds, outpaces total capital. You got subordinated debt at about 7 times EBITDA. Noel, how does this shake out over the next, what, 12 to 18 months?
Well, I think they're probably hoping it's going to be quicker than 12 to 18, but I think it's going to get very complicated just because you have not only all that debt, but all that debt is scattered across all kinds of different pieces. You've got holding company, you got US, you've got this entity called True Taj, you got the property companies, et cetera. All those people are going to be in the pool fighting for value, residual value of what's left, particularly out of the property companies. So it's going to get a little bit convoluted here, but I think at the end of the day, you know, what you end up with is, at least in the US, you're going to end up with a slightly smaller retailer. I don't see them closing a ton of stores out of this. And then internationally, those operations aren't part of the filing, so those are all probably going to be okay.
Okay, all right. Let's get out of this. Let me get out of this before he starts talking some more. All right. Okay, so guys, let's go back here. So did you guys see that? The British billion is million, and American billion is 1,000 million. That is, I don't know. I don't know exactly what you're saying, Alice, that the British billion is 1,000,000 and an American billion is 1,000 million. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. I'm going to have to do math and look that up at some point. Anyway, guys, so Toys R Us, they're not closing their stores. They're keeping most, well, they may be closing a few, but they're keeping most of their stores open for the time being, all right? And so the other thing about it is they're keeping a specific store open in downtown New York, and they're keeping that particular store open in downtown New York to hopefully reap some of the benefits from passerbyers. Now, the question I have for you guys is, how do you shop? Do you go into a store, or do you perhaps, hear my family here, do you go into a store, or do you actually shop online? For me, I generally try to shop online, but there are times I like to go inside a store. I mean, I don't always go inside a store, but I like to go inside and kind of put my hands, especially when I'm buying toys for my child, for Maddie. I like to go inside the particular store and, you know, find out if the toy is quality, if it's going to hold up to the kind of play that it may have. And so that's what I like to do personally. Generally shopping, though, I'm going to be shopping online. And as an Amazon affiliate, there's my plug for Amazon affiliate, I'm going to probably shop more on Amazon anyway. It's just easier. It's more convenient. There are times where Walmart is cheaper than Amazon too. So sometimes that's even better for me anyway. So guys, I just wanted to give you guys the information, let you guys know that Toys R Us has filed for bankruptcy, but it is not going to impact us as the consumer by very much at all, if any. We may see a little bit, we may hear about it in the news, but I don't think that it's going to be a big deal for the consumer. Hopefully they restructure in a positive way, given the allowance of the $2 billion after filing for bankruptcy of $5 billion. Like the guy just said in this commentary you just heard, the talking heads over there, this only translates to the United States and does not translate to the international sales. So I don't think that the international community will feel it in a negative way. So guys, I just wanted to let you guys know about that. If you haven't already, we'd love for you to subscribe, which you can do right down here. Or here, I think it's over here. I'll throw some cards up, I guess, later on. Thanks for joining us, Alice, and if anybody else was here, appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us here at Maddie's Daddy. Hope you have a great day, and remember, sharing is caring. Share this video with anybody you might that might find this useful. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.